October 2020. After Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam, aligned himself with Paul Heyman, and regained the Universal Championship at Payback, his first title defense was scheduled at Clash of Champions against his cousin, Jey Uso. Roman was trying to establish himself as the head of the table, and with Jimmy on the shelf with a knee injury, Jey was working to establish himself as more than just a tag team wrestler.
We ain't little kids no more.
Was Jey's battle cry, as it was time for the underdog to have his moment against the big dog. Roman and Jey proceeded to have one of the best storytelling matches in WWE in years, and with Jimmy throwing in the towel, saving his brother, and acknowledging Roman as the tribal chief. What was the fallout? It's time to rewind the Bloodline. So we kick off part 5 of our Bloodline saga with the October 2nd, 2020 Smackdown. But before we do that, if you are new here, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support us and help us grow. And Teddy, why don't you get us kicked off here with this Smackdown?
So we start with highlights from the Clash of Champions match. And the most pivotal part here that they really made sure to get across to the audience is Roman saying, "Acknowledge me as your tribal chief," and Jimmy, not Jey, doing so, and then finishing with the line, "Is this what you want?"
So the main show kicks off with the big dog and the show up and win shirt. Michael Cole tells us that Paul Heyman says that the crowning of Roman Reigns as the tribal chief is the greatest moment in SmackDown history. Michael Cole had a different feeling about Roman at the Clash, a different swagger, attitude, and so on. And Cole brings up that Corey asked at the end of the Clash if Roman is willing to go to these lengths against his family. What is he willing to do against the rest of the roster? And
I do like that Michael Cole is saying, I don't want to say the quiet part out loud, but how many times did you say specifically, this is a different Roman? I'm seeing a new Roman. And so Michael Cole saying that out loud, I sort of felt like we were vindicated there. Do you know what I'm saying? Some affirmation for what our thoughts were. So Paul starts with his promo.
"You're going to have to forgive me this evening. I'm
a little bit nervous. I have known this man and his family since the day he was born.
I always looked forward to this actual moment
because we knew that it was destined to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight,
we're all here to declare Roman Reigns as the tribal chief.
Not just the tribal chief of his own
family, Friday Night Smackdown, WWE, but the tribal chief of the
WWE universe, which is
so necessary that Roman Reigns is your undisputed universal champion. So let's set the stage appropriately
and with respect.
From the Paramount High Chief Peter Maivia to Roman's Uncle Afa to Roman's father Sika."
And Roman takes the mic and Roman says,
"I don't want you to call me that.
I don't want you to acknowledge me as the tribal chief."
His brother acknowledged me, but he..."
Roman calls out Jey, and Jey's music hits. Jey comes out, walks to the ring, and he's wearing some emotion. And Graves says, hopefully Jey does the right thing here and now.
Yeah, so Jey says,
"I don't know you.
You're supposed to be my cousin, my blood, my family. And at Clash of Champions, you showed your true colors. And so did I. You beat but you ain't broke my spirit. If Jimmy never threw in that towel,
that championship will be mine, Oos."
And then Roman says,
"You think I'm proud of what I did?"
Clash of Champions was the worst night of my career, personally and professionally.
"I was trying to do you a favor, Oos.
Put you in the main event, the bright lights. I love you.
I love you more than your brother loves you.
You always say you're day one. You've always been here my whole life. All I wanted to do was raise you up, and all you had to do
was acknowledge me."
This is good stuff, man. This is good stuff.
This is so, man, like the things that they just continuously do here and build and build and build upon are just, it's just masterful. So he goes on to say,
All you had to do were to say the word.
It's my birthright. It hasn't been given to me. I worked for it. You've seen it.
Dude, what I loved here was Mrs. Mongoose buried Roman for wanting to be an actor during this promo. Like, I'm sitting here, dude, and I'm like, I'm all fired up, like feeling this. And she's like, and he wants to be an actor.
I can totally see Allison saying the same thing as well.
Right.
So my biggest takeaway here is that Roman was completely diabolical with all the mind games he was playing. He continues on with saying,
And you broke my heart.
you can't even look me in the eye. You want another shot? Is that what you want? If you want another shot, you get another shot.
Well, you want a Hell in a Cell?
If that's what you want, you got it. But this match has the highest stakes that any match has had in WWE history. So Roman gives Jey the rematch at Hell in a Cell with the highest stakes.
And man, that was fast, right?
Right.
Like we went from the towels thrown into, oh, all right, you want a rematch? Fine. Also highest stakes ever. I did pop at that one. I thought that was awesome. So Roman grabs Jey, he pulls him in, and it was a good moment, man. He goes,
This time there's going to be real consequences.
and when he says this, there is like this 4-year-old girl on the hard cam, and I'm not sure she's actually watching the show, but dude, I loved her. She was a superstar here. So all this is going on. Jey says, no matter what the stakes are,
You're on, Oos.
and then AJ Styles music hits.
Yeah, and Styles comes out, and that popped me huge because he just comes out and starts with,
Does it really matters who sits at the end of the table?
and who has the most chicken bones? Like what is happening right now?
so AJ wants his shot, and he's asking Jey to give up his shot to him.
Sacrifice a goat if you have to.
Says that Jimmy is a better athlete, and he calls Jey the runt of the family, and Uso attacks.
Yeah, dude, he sprung on him like a spider monkey.
Yes.
He did. He just flew right across there. So he hits the kind of Uso splash off the announce table, and we go to commercial. And I was not ready to just get a full-fledged AJ and Jey Uso match here. So Cole notes that AJ had to go through the triple threat ladder match at Clash, so he's not in the best condition, but he's all fired up. Graves is putting over the Hell in a Cell huge, and Cole notes that maybe Jay's mind is already there because it's not in this match right now because AJ's taking it to him. So Jey finally cuts AJ off with the clothesline outside, goes for the dive outside. AJ cuts him off, gets more heat outside after he hits a brainbuster on the announce desk. We come back into the ring, and in full 2020 WWE fashion, Jay's comeback starts during the commercial break. We come back, we get a 2 count, and AJ cuts him off again for some more heat.
So for the finish, Jey goes for the Uso splash, but it's reversed by Styles. Styles goes for the phenomenal forearm, and Jey kicks the rope, super kicks AJ, hits the Uso splash, and wins the match.
Yeah, and I actually really liked this, what seemed to be random win, but it was over a credible opponent, a former world champion, and if we're going to build him back up for Roman, this needed to happen. It absolutely did. In other news, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we're going to see him in the future. Sami Zayn won the IC belt at Clash, and he cuts a promo, throws one of the belts into the trash. Like, this Liberator gimmick is so weird, but he'll come around. He'll come the whole way around. We get a KO show segment with Alexa Bliss. It's not any good, but she's doing her best to sell this Fiend as a spooky fella. She says she has been brainwashed by him. She's been changed by him. Let him in. And then da-da. KO then eats a mandible claw. And it looks like we're pivoting away from the Fiend and Roman for now, which is a good thing, especially because of what we got going on with the family.
So we now move on to the next week, which is the October 9th, 2020 SmackDown.
And dude, this is a draft. I wasn't ready for this at all. Out comes Stephanie McMahon.
That was so insane because it just felt so out of nowhere. They're just like, hey, we're having a draft, and here it is.
Yes. We went from tribal chief, consequences, let him in. Oh, here's the draft.
So the number 1 pick in the draft, Raw keeps champion Drew, and SmackDown keeps their champion, the big dog, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and Seth gets drafted to SmackDown, and I was like, what? Like, I literally do not remember Seth ever being on SmackDown. Like, this was really weird. So we cut forward into the show, and after this hellacious, bloody, filled, brutal false count anywhere match between Big E and Sheamus, Jey makes his way out to the ring.
So Jey wants to know what the stipulations to Hell in a Cell match are going to be. And he says that Roman won't come out on his terms. And Jey goes to give welcome to the Uso and is cut off by Paul on the video screen.
Stop.
Paul tells him not to embarrass himself by trying to dictate the appearances of the Universal Champion. And we get another Reignsing defending line from Paul, and Roman is just looking at the title belt.
And Roman says, we used to say about this business, believe none of what you hear
And only half of what you see.
but what you just saw, believe that. And there's this clip of Jey just getting killed by Roman. So he wants Jey to acknowledge him for the first time in Hell in a Cell. There will be an I Quit match. It didn't have to be like this, he says. I just want to help you. I love you. But after you say I quit,
There will be consequences.
And so then, since this is still the draft show, later on, Jey actually does get picked up by SmackDown.
it's also weird that Ray and Dominic are drafted together and Cole's really excited about it. Like, that's certainly something.
And then they cut at the end of the show announcing that Roman is going to defend the title against Strowman next week on the season premiere of SmackDown. So we move on to the next week here, and it is the October 16th, 2020 SmackDown.
Yeah, the show starts with this new post-draft intro video, and Seth is the first person shown, which proves that I'm an idiot just to not remember any of this. Jay's now featured in the package, but this is Roman's show, dude. Like, he has that big floor punch at the end and all of that. So like you said, this is the season premiere Friday Night SmackDown. The whole locker room is out, and Stephanie and Triple H are in the ring to welcome us. Triple H says, tonight's main event for the Universal Championship will be Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. And this huge heel versus babyface war breaks out, and everyone stops cold when Lars Sullivan comes out.
Oh my gosh, I was wondering what Twilight Zone we were living in.
Right.
We cut away, and the NFL on Fox crew is previewing the title match. And this is not a joke. This literally happened.
Yeah, dude, Tony Gonzalez likes Roman Reigns tonight because since returning, he looks the best he's ever looked. Colin Cowherd likes Braun Strowman. That has to be a rib because Colin only likes losers.
Yes.
Wani loves Roman because he's coachable. He says he takes advice from the wise man, and oh, God bless you, Wani. Michael Vick likes athletes, so he's going with Roman Reigns, and Kurt Menefee and Terry Bradshaw are both going with Braun Strowman.
So after that segment, Jay Glazer of NFL on Fox tells us that the Fox executives are thrilled with the draft, and that because Braun was drafted to Raw, if he wins, he's taking that title with him. So they cut to Braun in his get up, and he's getting a good brother pump before this match.
Yep. And then we cut to some celebs that are giving their, welcome to the new premiere or whatever. And my God, dude, I can't stand Ken Jeong. Like I got so heebie-jeebied. So Roman's music hits, and Michael Cole, for the first time, does not say, it's the big dog. Instead, he says,
The Samoan Tribal Chief.
So we also have on Hardcam, Thunderdome days, Goldberg, Mark Henry, and Keith Lee all watching SmackDown here. It's really throwing me off while this is going on. We have Jey Uso watching from the back, and then we get going here. Roman and Braun lock up. Roman throws Braun outside like a sack of dog food, dude. He just dumped him right out, and then he hits this big Superman punch onto Strowman out on the apron.
And Cole brings up how this is a different Roman, and Graves, he does a great job saying that this is the Roman that has always been there, but now he's actually focused. And like, man, I hate the Braun Strowman running spot. He hits Roman through the barricade and we go to commercial. Like it just
at least they weren't playing the train effect while this was going on.
don't even get me started on that. So now Braun he's in full control. He gets cut off by a boot from Roman and he runs his shoulder into the post. Braun totally no-sells the shoulder, grabs Roman and does some kind of like flapjack type deal. He screams that he's not finished with Roman and he hits a choke slam.
Yeah, we get a 2 count off of that, and Roman hits the low blow on the kick out, a la the Jey Uso match. Mm-hmm. Roman goes for a spear. Braun catches him. Roman starts running the ropes and locks in a guillotine. Strowman fades, taps. Good luck at Raw. Hope you find your dad. Like,
wow,
man.
I genuinely can't believe that they choked him out and sent him off to Raw.
After he was just getting whooped, he did get a little bit of shine, but like he got handed to him there for a while too.
Yeah, so Jey immediately comes out and Roman spears Strowman as Jey watches.
Dude, Braun's labored breathing into this floor microphone while this is going on.
I don't understand how somebody wasn't like, can we shut the mic off? Because it was so loud. It's the only thing you could focus on during that segment. It was so bad.
Well, the problem was that none of the guys had mics. So they needed to have it so that they could yell at each other. And it just happened that the collateral damage was Braun just laying there wheezing.
He was working wheezing.
Oh, hard. He was working harder at wheezing than he was that whole match.
That is so true. So the wise man hands Roman a chair. Roman tells Jey, this is how we eat. This is how we take care of our generations. And I don't want to do this to you, Uso. If I can do this to him, imagine what I'm going to do to you. And Roman then proceeds to just absolutely murder Braun even worse.
He does. Jey's standing stoic outside. Roman hits Braun like 4 more times, and Jey finally gets into the ring. Braun Strowman at this point in time is the vampire from Bugs Bunny with the abracadabra brick falling on him.
Abracadabra.
Like every time he goes to hookers, like it just smashes again. Like every time he starts to move, Roman just clocks him again. So Roman says that he loves Jey and he'd never hurt him, but Jey's forcing his hand. Jey's wanting to take his place and it makes no sense, but Roman still loves him. Roman wants Jey to prove himself, prove that he wants it by swinging the chair and hitting Roman.
And Roman turns his back, extends his arms. Jey throws the chair down and Roman smiles and turns and is going to embrace him. And then Jey punches him square in the face. And I love that Jey takes the, I'm not going to hit you when you're not looking tact. Like made him.
It's a babyface. It's a babyface move.
Yes. Thank you. It was very babyface of him. Made him turn around and look at him. And that's when he was going to attack.
Yep.
So Jey grabs a chair and screams, you love me. I love you too, and smashes Roman with the chair. So security pulls Jey off of Roman, and Roman gets back up and smashes Jey with a Superman punch. And like this was an excellent end to SmackDown. This was good stuff.
It was great stuff. The only bad thing is you just sent a top pick, Raw pick, just bloody and bruised. Down the street, poor Braun Strowman. But all of this Bloodline stuff is so good, man. So we're now at the October 23rd, 2020 SmackDown. This is the go-home show for Hell in a Cell, and it is Tribal Consequences tonight. And good Lord, dude, we said before that 2020 WWE is the same show where we have Tribal Consequences. We have Law and Otis.
I forgot about Law and Otis.
Now, can we digress for a second here and talk about how dirty they did Otis? This fellow wins Money in the Bank. He's in this awesome love story with Mandy Rose. Fast forward, they send Mandy and Tucker both to Raw, and now he's about to lose the briefcase to The Miz in a courtroom segment with JBL as the judge.
That has to be some sort of rib because JBL was always right there with Undertaker and leading the wrestlers court as the judge.
I didn't even think about that. And that would be a cool thing. I should go back and check the Observer because I'm sure that would have been something that Meltzer would have noted that JBL famed wrestler court judge is now here to take poor Otis's lunch from him. So Daniel Bryan is now on the KO show. And the reason I had this noted is that he puts over huge Jey Uso for being one of the people that have really stepped up and they're coming into their own.
Yeah, and so after a Lars Sullivan promo video, we get a promo video for Roman versus Jey, and this is awesome.
You beat my ass, but you ain't break my spirit.
Highest stakes ever in a Hell in a Cell. First ever I Quit match in the cell. Roman is via satellite pushing away what appears to be a delicious meal.
Really does, man. And so we get Bailey and Sasha in a segment together, another Tribal Consequences promo spot, and then we're into the progressive match flow, which takes us back through Roman's murder of Braun Strowman the week before. Roman has now completely abandoned this meal and is now making his way to the ring with the wise man in tow.
Roman gets to the ring, he asks for the microphone, and he goes to speak, and Jey calls for Roman, and he's in front of the meal via satellite where Roman just was.
Yo, Tribal Chief.
So Jey says that Roman has lost his connections with himself and with the family, and it's not Jey, it's Jimmy. So Jey ambushes Roman. Jey has a chair. Roman gets it. Jey cuts off with a Superman kick and hits an Uso splash.
Yeah, and the reveal here is great with pulling the bandana down. Totally got me, man. I thought that was excellent. Roman Reigns wearing Jordan 33s at this time. He's in the black cement SE lows here, so he's looking good even while he's getting his in the ring, brother. Jey walks off. Jimmy joins his brother, and man, am I hype right now. So Roman wants a microphone, and he says,
It's all just games, huh?
"It's funny to you boys. You don't understand. You make me I'm not the Universal Champion. I'm not the face of the WWE. I'm not the head of the table. I'm not the Tribal Chief. I'm not the provider of generations and generations in the bloodline. If you can make me quit, I can live with that. But
the question is, can you?
When I make you quit,
And I will make you quit.
you will fall in line, you will take orders, and you will acknowledge me. You will respect me for who I am in the WWE and for all that I do for our family. And if you can't,
Then you're out.
not just you brought your brother with you. He's out too. Your wives, your children, your children's children are all out of the family. We will all turn our backs on you.
Are your consequences.
That is an A+ go home segment. I don't know where you find a better one to lead you off into Hell in a Cell.
Dude, the crazy thing is Brock Lesnar could not have done this.
Nope.
And that's what's incredible is that Paul is with Roman because he's the best talker in the history of the world.
Right.
And for Roman to be able to grab the stick and cut that kind of promo with that kind of emotion to set up this kind of match, next level stuff, dude. Awesome.
To wrap up our final scenes of the Smackdown, the show goes off with the big red cell dropping on Roman, and Michael Cole reiterates that Jey must make Roman say, "I quit," and if he does not, he and Jimmy are out of the dynasty, the family. And whew, what a way to cap it off here as we go to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, man. Jey climbs the cage. Cole and Graves continue to put over this match, letting us know that it's all about family. It's all about consequences. Awesome segment. Like you said, brother, I'm ready to go. This is going to be awesome.
Need that. I'm putting that on our island of relevancy here to wrap the show because I don't know what's better than that.
I agree. So you put that one on the island of relevancy. In my ocean of obscurity, I am throwing the Alexa Bliss and Fiend partnership into the ocean. Get him away from Roman. Keep him away from Roman. I want nothing to do with any of it, man.
And I think that that's perfect that you're putting that on the Ocean of Obscurity, because I feel like that is the final send off that we're getting, that we're done with Fiend and Roman forever, which is perfect.
Yep.
So if you enjoyed this episode, this is part 5. We have part 6 coming up, and that will be the entire Hell in a Cell match. I cannot wait to review this, because this is where this storyline really goes to the stratosphere. Cannot wait for that one. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to support. So I'm Johnny Bake Show.
I'm Teddy Mongoose.
And we just called it in the ring.